And because that marriage, you know, didn't work out so well, there's probably not going to be another royal wedding at the cathedral anytime soon. Now, if you go into St. Paul's Cathedral, which unfortunately we haven't got time to do today, you can go all the way up to the top of the dome for one of the best views over the City of London. The top of the dome stands at 365 feet high, 1 foot for each day of the year. It's about 111 meters to the top. So we'll see the west front of St. Paul's Cathedral out of the front window of the bus, and we're going to have a stop here for St. Paul's. Ladies and gentlemen, I know some of you want to use the washrooms. There are washrooms here at St. Paul's Cathedral, and they are free of charge. Yeah, we're just going to have a stop for the washrooms, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to see St. Paul's over on your left. So for those of you that want the washrooms, I will take you round there. And if you are sitting on the left-hand side of the bus, look all the way up to the top. You'll see the cross at the very top of the dome of St. Paul's. One of the reasons that a lot of people to commemorate the battle. Now we are, as I said, we are going to have a brief stop here, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that want to use the washrooms. So if you do, then please follow me and I'll take you across to the washrooms. For those of you that don't, please stay on the coach. We need to stay together so we can get to Buckingham Palace in time to see the changing of the guard.
My students of this college.
Franklin,
Yes.
Appleton.
Maxwell, Gilbert, Duffy, Morris. Hodge, Wellington, Guy. Wellington House.
So we're going to see the entrance to the Savoy just over on our left-hand side.
It's Savoy. It's Savoy Hotel. It's Savoy Theatre.
The Horse Guards parade, and you're going to see a couple of soldiers over on your right hand side, and they're guarding the entrance to Horse Guards Parade, which is a big parade ground behind this building. Now the regiment on guard at the moment are the Regiment of the Blues on the right hand side, behind those black gates. As you look down the street, number 10 is halfway down on the right hand side. There's usually a police officer standing outside. Around right, just as I say, halfway down the street on the right is number 10. Now we're just coming on to Parliament Square, and in a moment we're going to see the Houses of Parliament. Now the most famous thing about the Houses of Parliament is the clock tower known as Big Ben, which stands above it. Unfortunately, when we see Parliament, we won't be able to see Big Ben because it's covered in scaffolding. The whole Parliament building is being restored, renovated, and the restoration of midnight on New Year's Eve. The Parliament building that we're going to see in a moment is not as old as it looks. It was mostly built in the 1840s and 1850s. It looks old because it blends in with Westminster Abbey, which we're also going to see in a moment. Houses of Parliament, and directly above it, underneath all of that scaffolding, unfortunately we can't see it, is the clock tower known as Big Ben. That's over on the left.
ढका है इसके बिल्डिंग ये भी अच्छी वही आगे बिग बेन सामने हाउस ऑफ पार्लियामेंट
And if you carry on looking on your left, you're going to see the reason why the Houses of Parliament looks so old, even though it isn't. On the left, Westminster Abbey. Although I'll just point out something else, ladies and gentlemen. Over on your right-hand side, there's lots of statues in Parliament Square, but you might see directly over to your right the statue of Mahatma Gandhi. You see it just over on your right-hand side? Most of the statues in Parliament Square are of British Prime Ministers, but there are also statues of people from around the world that have promoted freedom and democracy. And that's why Gandhi's statue is there. So have a look on your left and you'll see Westminster Abbey. Now Westminster Abbey is as old as it looks. Westminster Abbey was first consecrated on the 28th of December 1065. Most of the present building was built between the 1220s and the 1270s. And Westminster Abbey is the place where ever since 1066 every single English and later British king and queen has been crowned. Lots of them have been married there. The Queen was married there in 1947, and also lots of them have been buried there. There are 17 British monarchs buried in Westminster Abbey. along with lots of other famous people such as Charles Darwin, Charles Dickens and Isaac Newton, to name but 3 of almost 3,000. There are almost 3,000 people buried in the Abbey. Now the next person to be buried in Westminster Abbey is the physicist, the scientist Stephen Hawking, that you may have heard of. He died about 2 months ago, and his ashes are due to be buried in the Abbey in June. So he's going to be the latest person to be buried there.
Is it actually a church or a congregation?
It's an Abbey church. So originally it was a Catholic church, but when this country went through the Reformation in the 1530s, it went from being Catholic to Anglican Protestant. So it is still a working church. Now, like St. Paul's Cathedral, if you want to go in as tourists, you do have to pay. But the religious services that take place there are free of charge. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, our next stop is going to be our stop for Buckingham Palace. Now, Buckingham Palace is the official London home and residence of the Queen. We're not going to know if the Queen is in or not until we get to the palace and we see the flag. If the flag that's flying from the roof of the palace is the British flag, the Union flag, the Queen is not in residence. But if it's her personal flag, called the Royal Standard, which is red, gold and blue, she is in residence. And on average, the Queen spends about 20 weeks of every year living in the palace. The palace is very big. It has 775 rooms. But unfortunately, at this time of the year, it's not possible to go inside. The only time you can go inside is in the summer, from July to September. That's the only time it's open. The rest of the time, it isn't. We're going to get off, ladies and gentlemen, for Buckingham Palace. Once again, I'm going to wave the flag here. Just follow the flag. When we stop, if you could get off the bus as quickly as possible, because we can't really stay here too long. And stay together as a nice, tight group. There's going to be lots of people here at the palace. You don't need to bring anything with you apart from your umbrellas, very important, and your cameras. Just be careful when you're out. There are a lot of people here. There are pickpockets around.